Now that we know how to find our lowest common denominator, we're going to use that same skill for solving our rational equations. So far we've been dealing with rational expressions. There's no equal sign. Now there's an equal sign. It's kind of hard to see, but right there. With that equal sign, that means we're now solving. We want to know what x equals to make this a true statement. So the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to eliminate the denominators by multiplying by the lowest common denominator. Take a look. So with this example, I've already got it factored for us. So I can see here that these two fractions, they both have the x minus 3. So that's going to be part of our lowest common denominator. And then these two fractions, they have the x plus 1. So that's going to be part of the lowest common denominator. So x minus 3 times x plus 1 is my LCD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply all three fractions here by my lowest common denominator. So I'm going to multiply by my x minus 3 times x plus 1 over 1. So for this first example, I'm going to show this painful step by painful step, every little piece, and then we're going to see a little bit of corner cutting to make it a little bit of an easier process. So what we're going to see here is I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to multiply it to 3 over x minus 3. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to distribute it in. So that's going to give me 3 times x minus 3 times x plus 1 all over x minus 3 equals, now I'm going to distribute it to this fraction, my 5 over x plus 1. So I'm going to get 5 times x minus 3 times x plus 1 all over x plus 1. Plus, now I distribute to this fraction, which is 1 times x minus 3 times x plus 1 all over x minus 3 times x plus 1. So, all I've done is I went in and I multiplied everything by the same value. As long as I multiply everything, my equation is still true. It's a true statement. Each term got multiplied by the same thing, so this is still true with this. But now using our skills for simplifying, I check this out. X minus 3 and x minus 3, well, that's going to reduce to 1, and I'm left with 3 times x plus 1. Nice. Denominator is now gone, which is what we want. Equals, here, my x plus 1's reduce, and I'm left with 5 times x minus 3, plus, here, my x minus 3 and my x minus 3 reduce, and here, my x plus 1 and my x plus 1 reduce, so I'm left with 1. So I've now taken my rational equation, I've gotten rid of the denominators, this is now just a linear equation. This is much easier to solve. So to do that, I'm going to simplify. So I'm going to distribute my 3, 3x plus 3 equals, I'm going to distribute my 5. And I get 5x minus 15 plus 1. So I'm going to combine my like terms here. So I have 3x plus 3 equals 5x minus 14. And now we're just solving for x. So I'm going to move my variables to one side, my numbers to the other. So to do that, I'm going to minus 3x over here. So I get 3 equals 2x minus 14. Now I'm going to add 14 over. So I have 17 equals 2x. And I divide by 2. X equals 17 over 2. Boom. I have now solved that rational expression. If I plug x, that's really light. We can still see it. X equals 17 over 2 into those x's. This is going to be a true statement. Okay? So our steps here, if we were to kind of categorize our process, what we want to do is we need to find the LCD. To be able to do that, we want to make sure our equation is in factored form so we can easily find our lowest common denominator. Then from there, we multiply by the LCD. That way we're able to get rid of the denominators. And then my last step is to simplify and solve. All right. So that's the basic understanding there. We've reached our 5-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and call this my intro video, and I'll come back at you with some examples.